And this is the lesson. He said it clearly. He says, this is a global recession. And the trouble is the balloon is coming down. And so they're trying to pump it back up again by printing and all the stuff they do, but they can't stop it. So he says, technically, we've been in a depression. It's a definition of the words, the words become flesh. So we've been in a depression since 2007. And a depression means subpar growth. So instead of growing at 3%, what records are saying we're growing at 2%, that balloon is coming down. We're making mistakes. 2008, it was, those credit default swaps. It was for residential real estate. So they bailed them out. This next crash is for the hedge funds and private equity that invested in all this commercial real estate. So I have another $100 million project coming out. I just got bailed out. I just got backed up by the Fed and the government. So that's why it's socialism for the rich. Unfortunately, there's capitalism for the poor middle class, those that work for money. You're on your own.
Right.
If you own a small restaurant and you got to let go of your staff, you're no different than your staff right now. This coronavirus is bigger than anything we've ever seen before. And on the biggest picture of all, the coronavirus and the coming crash, financial collapse possibly, marks the end of the industrial age and the beginning of the information age. It's a very big move. And the people that are in trouble today are people still stuck in industrial age thoughts. The people that are struggling financially haven't moved on yet. Those of you at home right now who are sitting going, but I'm going to lose my job, my house, my pension, and all this, it's because you're trapped with old thoughts. And as most people know, is that, when I came up with Rich Dad, Poor Dad with 20-something years ago, mainstream media crucified me. They said, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you don't know what you're talking about. I said, the rich don't work for money. Savers are losers. Your house is not an asset. And I was crucified, just crucified. And the good news is the most important thing you can have right now is not job security, but meaningful work. So you and I don't need the money, but our work is meaningful. And it's our meaningful work that gets us through the hard times. So the good news is my company is sold out. We cannot keep up with product. The bad news is the supply chain shut down, but that's a good problem. We have tons of cash. I have gold, I have silver, and I do have challenges in the real estate market, but that's going to make me stronger. That's my only attitude I can have. Otherwise, I just cry and say, well, the government should take care of me. I need a bailout. I need a stimulus. And stimulus means welfare for the rich. But you have this guy, Joe Biden, what he did the first time he got elected, 2020? He took, and I'm an oil guy. I went to the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. I drive oil tankers with Standard Oil. So I'm an oil man. The first thing he did was he cut off the Keystone XL pipeline. I don't buy oil stock. I don't have no Chevron stocks. I don't have Exxon. I don't have BP. But I do own the oil. If you can print it, I don't want it. I want the oil. So I'm selling oil. I had oil wells in North Dakota, Louisiana, and Texas. So oil, when Biden came to office, was $30 a barrel. It's a good, fair price, The moment he cut off the Keystone pipeline, oil went from $30 to $130. See, because energy drives civilization. Let me say that again. Energy drives civilization. That was his first act. And I knew he and Kamala are probably communists. And when they did that, they took the middle class of America, made them poor. Does that make sense to you? Because you're standing there filling up your SUV and you're watching your gas meter going like this, and you're going, how am I going to pay for this? It makes you nuts. Yeah. Something is wrong. So oil went from 30 to 130. I got extremely rich. I am getting extremely rich because I have good education, but not from school. But I'm getting richer. I'm going, but everybody else in the world is getting poorer. So that's why I think these are coming out. And you look at the states where the most of the violence is coming from, they're very liberal states. Like California has the toughest gun laws going, but that's where the shootings are taking place. I live in Arizona where I can walk down the street with this and they don't care. As you notice, this is the Wild West yet. So it's a matter of what's going on between this year in your heart. So when Biden cut off that XL pipeline, I knew that what you and I are doing, it's about transformation, not education. We've got to become more aware. And so that's my concern. So I was happy for about 3 days. I was going, boy, it went from $30 to $130. I think it's about $80 today. Education, because the real problem of this crisis started back in 1904 when the richest guys on earth took over the education system in the United States. They formed a thing called the General Education Board. It was formed by guys like Rockefeller and J.P. Morgan. And what they pulled out of education was financial education. And that's why I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It was a warning shot across the bow back in 1997. I said, wake up, something's coming down the road. So we're here right now. This is the biggest transformation in the history of the world. It's from industrial age to information age. I'm doing well because I made the transition. I'm making more money than ever before. I have problems, but I'm making more money than ever before. But if you're losing money right now, the problem starts in what you were taught in school. Because they never taught you anything about money. They never taught you about a financial statement, like my rich dad did. They teach you that diploma is everything. It's a piece of toilet paper. BS.
And you buy into that mechanism of money, and you believe that that is the only thing to focus on. And what you're saying right now with these stimulus packages is all of this money being given, quote unquote, away by the government to everybody is actually devaluing your dollar. It's devaluing your pension, it's devaluing your savings, and it's wiping out businesses. So you're dying by this sword.
This is the question. I said, why don't they teach us about money? What are they teaching us today? About wokeism and Black Lives Matter and gender bending. What about money? I just can't believe our education system has gone so corrupt. And today, the number one debt for most young people are student loans. And they come out of school and they really can't even find a job that pays them that much. I mean, it makes ROI, return on investment. A college education doesn't make sense. There's no ROI on it. So when you think about that, it's our school system that's criminal too.
Yeah, you're always on the front lines, really pointing that out. I know making a lot of teachers' unions uncomfortable.
So I said, why are we reading this book here? A Communist Manifesto. And so he says, because it's economics. There's a war on right now between Marxism or communism and capitalism. And our school system is run by Marxists. And when I read this book, I hate to say this, my family are Marxist. They say, like, I know this is England. Labor unions run the world. And my poor dad was the head of the teachers union for the state of Hawaii. And I'm reading this book here going, oh my God. And then he believes in taxes. And as you know, the rich don't pay taxes anyway. But my poor dad's telling you should pay your taxes, you should pay your taxes. I'm going, what? And so I came back in 1965. I was a changed human being. I said, I'm not going to listen to my school teachers anymore. So what I'm saying is blasphemy. And then in 2020, I came up with this book here, Who Stole My Pension? And Jolly England made a twitch because your pensions almost went bust a little while ago. The national debt for World War II was $25 billion. Every day today, they're printing $125 billion. Every single day. That's like 5 World War IIs per day. They're printing so much money to keep this think of a hot air balloon with a tear in it. And they're doing desperately trying to fix this tear. No matter how hard they try, the tear has gone beyond, it's coming down. So in financial terms, it's called our debt to GDP has now gone from 60 to 90 to 105, it's going to 120. We're bankrupt. And they're going to print more and more money, which means savers are losers, just as I predicted. Your money is going to be worthless in a few years. Wow. So my message is, this is metamorphosis time. Financial education is really financial transformation. And the definition of metamorphosis is very important. Metamorphosis, the definition is the evolution or the transformation from an immature form to an adult form. An immature form to an adult form. Metamorphosis is the same as a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. And Fuller always said there's nothing to predict a butterfly inside a caterpillar. So everybody listening right now, if you're struggling financially, just think of yourself as a little caterpillar. And this crisis is your cocoon. The question is, what do you emerge as? Do you emerge as a victim? You know, the world did it to me, and the capitalists are crook, and the rich are bastards, and all this stuff? Or do you say, oh, this is the best thing that ever happened to me? The choice is between your head, your heart, your body, your mind, your spirit. That's where the choice, the metamorphosis, the evolution or the transformation from an immature form. You know, mommy, daddy going to take care of me. Mommy and daddy going to pay for my education. The government's going to give me Social Security. I have a 401k. You know, my employer's an asshole. You know, You're going to evolve from that into an adult. That's metamorphosis. Right.